So I know it's not just me and my family that have been feeling this way, but every time I go to Walmart, it feels like things are just getting more and more expensive. Every single visit is like $100 to $200, and we're barely walking out with anything. So we decided to go ahead and buy 1 year worth of food, and that's looking to be about $3,500 for our family of two plus a little one. But that little one mostly just drinks milk from my wife, so that's not really a big deal. However though, in this video, I'm gonna tell you exactly what $3,500 actually gets us as a family. And by the way, everything is organic. Also, why we're actually doing this, what the benefits are, and more importantly, I want you guys to know that you don't need to be an expert farmer or canner or a lot of experience when it comes to just like buying things. The answer is I graduated as an accountant. My wife graduated as a dentist, and she used to be a dentist, okay? So you don't need any prior experience because you can just go on YouTube, you can go online, you watch this video right here, and you can basically learn everything you actually need to buy food, make sure it doesn't go bad, and you have a place to actually put it in your house. And by the way, I'm so surprised that there's a lot of space in this house that I did not think about as far as putting all our stuff away. So let's get straight into the video. Now, for the first place we actually went to buy our goods, it was actually Costco. And here's why. Costco has a lot of good prices. Even when I went online to buy things in bulk in these fancy places, the answer was Costco was still going to be a better deal. So from Costco, we got our coconut oils, our olive oils, we got our butter, we got all our frozen fruits, we got our cheese, and a whole bunch of different things. Now, what I recommend you do is buy things in bulk and try to get it shelf stable. And we also bought a fridge at Costco for about like $200 or so with tax included, and that's about a 7 cubic feet freezer. Means it basically can fit a lot of meat and stuff in there. But having a freezer changes the game completely because you can actually store a ton of things in there. Now, one of my favorite purchases at Costco, and by the way, I'm not buying my meat at Costco like our beef. It's more expensive there. We actually got it from a farmer, a local farmer. I'll tell you more about that later. But from Costco, we bought literally about $500 worth of grass-fed butter. And here's why. From that butter, which is basically at a decent price, about $12 for about 2 pounds, which is actually cheaper than most places, well, we can actually make ghee. Ghee is an oil alternative, and by us making it ourselves, we can save almost half the price of what we would have paid. I mean it, okay? About a jar of this size at Costco of ghee, it's about $22. We can make that same jar for about half the price in our house. So it saves us a ton of money. Plus, we consume a lot of butter, so that's one of the main things we got at Costco. We also got a whole bunch of frozen fruits that we actually utilize, but we're not really worried about vegetables because those things are usually cheap. We could always just grow them, and they tend to be very available. Now, we also spent $500 at Azure Standard, okay? That is a website that focuses on bulk goods. And we bought some very good things over there. We got our wheat berries, we got our beans over there, and we got a few other things, even our toilet paper over there. Kind of crazy. And the whole idea is, when we actually bought wheat berries, we bought actually about 200 pounds. That's what we're actually gonna get. And about 50 pounds of beans and so on, because we do like beans. But the whole idea is, we always used to go to Walmart and buy this very expensive organic flour. And it's not really shelf stable because it's already milled. But I didn't even know this, but flour is basically like a berry or like a seed. And that seed is actually stable, like shelf-stable for up to 25 years. And when you actually mill it yourself, so we actually bought a mill for our KitchenAid, and that we actually bought used also. We try to save as much money as possible, and we don't really care if it's used or not. We just try to save as much money as possible. And with that mill, when you actually mill everything yourself, especially the flour, there are a lot more nutritional benefits to it. So that is what we're going to do. We got 200 pounds of those flour berries, organic also, and we're going to be milling it ourselves. And that's going to last us about the entire year. And I'm very surprised by that. And it's not that expensive, like less than $500 to buy all the beans you need, all the flour you need. You could even buy pasta there. You can buy a ton of different things. On top of that, guys, we also are going to be spending about $400 on chicken, okay? We haven't bought chicken yet. We were gonna buy it at Costco, but they didn't have any. We're gonna be buying organic chicken, but this is going to be temporary, and here's why, because organic chicken is about like $15 for a whole chicken. We used to get, for example, like chicken breasts and stuff like that, but then we realized we're paying like 3 times more money for having some boneless chicken breast. So what I do is we buy a whole chicken, we cut it up ourselves, and that way we save a ton of money, all right? That's the idea. So for our family of 2 plus the little one, that's basically gonna be about like 20 to 25 chickens, and that's basically it. But I do have an idea cooking in my brain, which is to actually get real chickens and raise them in our backyard and then process them ourselves. But for now, we're just gonna get some chickens that already have been processed. On top of that, we spent $1,000 at a local farm buying beef, okay? And that's going to get us about 100 pounds of grass-fed beef and also grass-finished beef. That's about like 40 pounds of ground beef, a whole bunch of steaks and fancy cuts or whatever. But the main reason we're actually doing this is not because of the fancy cuts or anything like that. It's just because of the price. Because it is grass-fed and grass-finished, it usually is a lot more expensive. So to get it at this price, we actually are gonna be saving a ton of money. So that's basically where our $3,500 is basically going to. Between, for example, getting some carbs, getting some meats, and getting some fats and fruits, okay? The fruits, pretty standard, but vegetables, you could always find those things, and we're not really that worried about it. Now, here's why we decided to actually do this for our family. There are 3 main reasons, okay? Number 1 is going to be inflation. We usually buy our meat from a local farmer. And the last time we went in September of 2025, we actually paid about $175 for a winter bundle. It was like 30 something pounds of beef, you know, like cheap cuts, you know, like the roast and stuff like that, because we really don't care. We're just trying to get like some good quality meat. And when we're actually running low, we call that same farmer and she tells us basically prices went up. It's $275. You get the same exact thing, but you have to pay $100 more. That, my friends, is inflation. That basically means that my $175 now, it cannot buy me the same amount of goods anymore because things are going to keep getting more expensive. That's why it feels like whenever I go to Walmart, like everything is just so expensive because it really is, okay? It really is. So to actually combat this, if we buy all the food we need right now, it does not matter if prices go up because I already bought at the price I basically was going to buy at, okay? And that's done. Now, the second reason we actually got it is basically because of food security. And here is where I want to get into, okay? So about a few months back, we were actually in the market to buy a sofa. What does this have to do with food? Give me a second, okay? Here's the idea. We went to an ATM because I had no cash and I was trying to take out $500. It didn't let me. It only let me take out $400 from my personal debit card. And I was like, yo, what happens if I can't get access to my cash? If the Walmart or other stores, they run out of food or whatever, for whatever reason, then what's gonna happen with us, okay? Well, the answer is we are going to be at the mercy of other people. So instead of doing that, we decided to actually go ahead and buy the food we needed. That way, we know we have it and we don't have to worry just in case we don't have access to the cash we actually need to buy these goods in the first place. Now, the third and most important reason, honestly, is going to be because we are saving a ton of money by doing this. Yes, up front, it's going to cost you more money because you are spending $3,000, $3,500, maybe even more, depending on your family size and what you actually value. But the answer is, we were spending about like $500 per month on food, okay? Because things are very, very expensive here in America, all right? So by doing this, well, we're gonna be spending less than $300 now. and we still get to get organic stuff and everything we actually need, and we have the security that whenever we run out, we can actually just go in and get what we actually need. Now, here's something I want to talk about, all right? How can you do this yourself if you have no experience and if you don't have a ton of cash to just go ahead and buy all these things at once? Well, here's the first thing, okay? Just focus on buying shelf-stable goods. So that basically means, okay, things that last forever or have a long shelf life. So I learned this just a few days ago. You know, salt can last forever, sugar can last forever, honey can last forever. There are canned goods you can actually buy that last you about a year or 2 years. Rice can last you 10 years. Flour berries can last you 25 years. So when you're buying those things, pasta over a year. So when you're buying those things, you can buy basically in bulk, store them away, and you'll be just fine. Number two is you don't have to buy everything at once like we did, okay? If you want, what you can do is if you have an extra $100 or $200, you could buy all the flour and beans you basically need for an entire year for that price. And then next month when you get paid, you can buy all the oats, all the meats, or whatever you actually need, and so on. Just keep adding into your stash and building it up until you have a good stash overall. Then on top of that, you want to watch videos and educate yourself as far as how do you store food, how do you can food, and how do you protect your food. That's the most important thing. And because we have no experience with this and we don't really know people that know this stuff either, except some friends here that know how to can, but most people don't know how to do any of this stuff. So you can go on YouTube University, which is free, and you can learn how to do all those things. And by the way, don't forget that when it comes to doing this, it may feel like you need a whole bunch of space, but I'm telling you, you don't, okay? And don't try to use your house as a museum. Just put everything wherever it can fit, all right? Because this is more important than your house looking pretty. Now, I'm not recommending you have like a big shelf in your living room when people come in, but we're gonna start having closets and shelves on top of shelves. We're gonna put all the things we actually need because it's more important for us as a family to have the things we need than to look fancy or very super organized when people come over to our house, all right? That's the main idea. So if you want to know what we're going to be doing with all the money we're going to be saving, well, subscribe to the channel because my next video is going to be about how to invest as a small investor. Peace.